Hello and welcome to Voltz. This is, I'm using the Voltz Wars Legacy mod pack with wireless transmitters and receivers, and I am, doing a lot of work. So, here's the thing. If you want to have missile launch silos, you probably don't want them in your base. For the simple reason that, we have chunk loaders, and you just really don't want to have what you're doing explode in your base. Or alternatively, if your base gets attacked, you don't want your defense mechanism to also be destroyed. So, yeah. Problem is, these guys are insecure. You just put a transmitter and a receiver, and that's basically it. And I've used 3 signals, which is quite a few signals, to basically encode and decode signals. I'm gonna show you how I did it, and I'm gonna show you how incredible this is. Ignore that, that was the demo. So, the way it works is really simple. I'll explain what all these lights do, but first you send the signal. Then, you test. If this begins blinking in a regular pattern, the missile is launching. Now, the way to reset it is to just do the same thing again. You do that, you do the test, and if it turns off, you're fine. Now, the way this works is really simple. You're gonna want to know a little bit about circuits, but basically, there are a few things we have to keep in mind. So, what I'm using here is signal 0 and signal 1 that we're sending, and we're receiving signal 2 over here to know if they're launching. Now, these two are just loopbacks, so if somebody is trying to do something on the network, we can see that, these ones are being turned on and off, somebody's trying to look around. Now, the way this works is really simple. These repeaters basically ensure that we will have a consistently long signal of 1011. Now, this is where it gets decoded. This is where that third guy you saw over there was. This is just so we can have an easier time showing off how this works. So, when we hit this button, it's going to, do stuff over here. If you can see really quickly, it's just that. And the way this will work is if we just really quickly reset this. It doesn't matter that it's on or off right now. The way it works over here is, well, it works really quickly. So you're gonna wanna slow down or something. But as you can see, yeah, the idea is that the very moment that this is sent in, this will start off a sort of loop here, which is continuously on. This will basically, whenever this passes one of these, it will lock the previous one, and it will unlock the one after it. This basically ensures that this system will test, so basically these are copy-pasted, right? So this guy will basically, when the procedure starts, this guy will be either pulsed on or off, and depending on that, this guy will then lock it, and this one will unlock the next one so that the next signal can pass, and that way, we can basically ensure that this one tests the first bit, second bit, third bit, fourth bit. And so yeah, now this is basically sending in 1 hex, value. So 1011, 1011. And this is really simple, except getting it to work right. It broke on me while I was filming. Cause oopsie daisies. So that's one thing. Now the second thing is the mechanism that tests it, which is really simple. It's this guy right here. The way this works is very simple. It just goes over here. It splits into the thing which will then go over here, and this is how we actually test if it's 1 or 0. If it's meant to be 1, it'll be just a repeater. If it's meant to be 0, it's gonna be a redstone torch. This way, if this one is on, this one will shut off, and it doesn't work. There's actually a thing you have to keep in mind with this system. I'll get to it later. You may have already noticed it, but with the way it works, I'll show you. But basically, yeah. Then when we turn that off, there's a little system here where this will basically... this piston lowers before this guy has a chance to send the pulse through. And this makes sure that only when this goes from high to low, that this pulses and shuts off the entire... You know, and then pulses all of these to reset them for the next pulse. And then, I mean, after that, it's just a flip-flop here after the signal has been tested, and that's it. Now, because we are starting the, let's call it the chain pulse, after, basically the chain pulse comes in with the first pulse, because of that little thing, every single time, the first one here needs to be, the first signal needs to be a 1. But if we set it up like this, for instance, I mean, it'll still function, it'll still send in the signal, but the signal will be wrong. So when we test this, you know, it's not gonna work. Oh yeah, by the way, when the signal passes through, it'll then loop back and try to be tested, but it's not gonna be tested until, yeah. Sorry, when the test signal goes to here, yeah, it'll loop back. Anyways, so yeah, then when, you know, this obviously doesn't work. And, you can do whatever you want, but the idea is, in case somebody's fucking with the signals, the arming lock test always resets them so that it doesn't matter what state they were in previously, they will be reset properly. Another thing with the design is that it has been made in such a way where it is really easy to just expand it. That's why there are, like, repeaters here or whatever. So because of that, you can just copy and paste more of these if you want, if you need more security for some reason, because it is harder to guess the more of these you have. You know, the enemy needs to somehow guess what you're doing. Alright, I also need to, really quickly, yeah. Also, this doesn't work if you do it too fast, so be careful, but you shouldn't be able to break it just by doing that. This is also semi-modular, with the caveat that when you're copy and pasting these blocks, you want to copy and paste the middle ones. Yeah. So, next up, I'm going to take this design into a, just into a different part of the map. And I'm going to do a little bit of a missile launch test so we can see how well it works. So here we are. Sadly, well, that it breaks signs when you transfer them. Ignore the little radar here. Here's how it's gonna work. You simply push the button until that is, you know, primed, done. Then you flick the lever. And there you go. So right now, this is about 1,000 blocks away from us. And, well, you can see there's this nice little village here. That I just randomly found. Oh my god, it's forestry. But yeah, it's a pretty simple affair, you know? There's not that much going on. Normally, you would want to put this somewhere hidden secret underground, but there's nowhere for us to really go. Except, as you can see here, this is a radar. Now, radars are really cool, because you can have a, sort of alarm range if something comes in, like, in a very specific, you know, distance. So, if we do a big ol' alarm range, and a, safe, yeah, as you can see... Now, why is this outputting signals all of a sudden? What is this red thing approaching? Well, as you can probably assume, it's a Tier 3 missile. And, one of the most, scariest things in Voltz is when you look up, and it is like that thing in the meme, right? Where the guy's, like, looking up at the sky. You can see it in the sky, can't you? Over there? Uh-oh. Mr. Minecraft Village, watch out! Well, I am honestly surprised we didn't get broken. And yeah, very clearly, just do this. Oops. I didn't wait for long enough. But yeah, then you just do this, and then there you go, it's problem solved. Now I don't know a way for us to automatically input coordinates. You would need to be a little bit crazy in order to do that, so the idea would be you would just kind of know where the enemy players are on the map, and you would have, like, the silos ready. However, yeah, the system works. If you're wondering where the other part is, I just copy and pasted it with World Edit over here. This is all it was. Oh, I forgot to put the stabilizer. Ah, yeah, okay, that's why it wasn't precise. Whatever. This is about it. Maybe I'll show you some more of my magical inventions in Voltz. But this system works. Bye-bye.